Okay guys, machinery. Love them, hate them. I know there's a lot of guys in this community that that are into market gardening, regen, that sort of stuff, and we are personally too. But there comes a point in a man's life where he says, there is too much work, I need help. And I'm sure anyone who's been doing market gardening or any of that sort of stuff have come to that point, whether you started with something super small and then you grew or whatever it is. But at some point you have to start dealing with machinery. So in our farm, we have the two farms. We have the Arks farm and Elia's garden, for those of you who might follow us on Instagram or whatever. And the Arks farm is 10 acres. So that was where we started. That's where everything started happening. That's where the movement started. And we had a certain prerequisite for that, because realistically with 10 acres you need certain machinery that you wouldn't need on 1 acre, and also you need certain machinery that you don't need for 150 acres. So that's Elia's garden, it's 150 acres. So I want to talk about the machines that we have got. So for the Arks farm, the 10 acres, we have got a John Deere 3320. It's got a front end loader, a mid-mount mower, and a rear end 3-point linkage. So we typically use a rotary hoe in the back, and that's for opening up ground. So if we've got a new patch we're just about to crack open, you need to get in there and you need to break that apart, because it's never been worked before, and we've used that multiple times really successfully. Really happy with that. Then we've got a the mid-mount mower, so it's 10 acres. We've got to keep that mowed and clean and tidy, and I think that everyone, there's no exceptions except for when you're starting out and you have everything neat and tidy and well kept. So that's a big thing for us. Mid-mount mower, and that front end loader, you've got buckets, forks, and a leveling bar, which you will see us use today for that. And so that really encompassed everything we need to do on the 10 acres. Punctually, we had to get machinery in to do dam building, whatever it was, but 99% of the time that machine did everything. From then onwards, we have our Cyber Clydesdale, which is because we don't want to get the John Deere back on the garden once it's been prepped the first time. And we have our Handy as well if we need to move compost or whatever we want to do for that. Okay, so then 150 acres, we need bigger machinery. This place is mainly bush. It's 150 acres on the flat, but it's about 170 if you take into account the contours. And that means there's 170 meters from here, from the very front of our property where the creek is, to the very top up there, to the top of the mountain. Now, with all that bush and mountain, if you can't access that part of the property, it is useless in my opinion. So that is something that we have to do. So when we bought this property, we had to think a whole different set of rules. So we have an excavator, a Komatsu PC 200-3, so it's a fairly old girl, but she's a nice piece of machinery. We've got 3 buckets for it, which is a sieve, general purpose bucket with the teeth on it, and then a 2 meter wide bucket, mud bucket, just for flicking stuff around, which is what we'll be using. We have a Ford Louisville Cat 308 engine in that, I believe it is. If anyone who knows anything about machinery, that'll mean something to them. If you don't know anything about machinery, it means it's just a reliable engine. And a tipper, obviously that's got a tipper on it, so we can put our material in there and move it around. We get road bait from up the top of the mountain and make our roads, so in wet weather we can get around the place. And then we've bought a John Deere 260 or 290, which is just like a proper tractor, 30 horsepower, and we've got a slash on the back of that. So that's for this property, and we needed that to build roads. Now I may do another video more detailed on how and what to buy. I'll give you a quick overview on what I look for when I'm buying and stuff like that, but we'll see how we go with that. So what I want to basically do is show you today, we've got our driveway that we need to get fixed, and I want to show you how that works. So let's jump on into it. Alright, so this is today's job. Down here we've got the river crossing, that's the only entrance to our property. I'll just show you, it's a beautiful time of the year. We've had stacks of rain, and now it's cold, so it's not evaporating. With this beautiful crystal clear water just running across down here. Now, due to all the rain, there's been a really big build up of rocks in here. Like, we've had like serious amounts of rain, so it's blocked up all the pipes that go underneath the road here. So you can see there's water coming out of some, but most of them aren't. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get these rocks that are built up in here, and it's built right back there, and it's all really shallow now, and that's why there's water coming over here, which we don't want. And here, because of the flooding, it's washed out a big hole on the side of the concrete drop-off, so you can almost get bogged in here in a small car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from back up that way where the excavator is. I'm going to take that knob off the top, and cut down about 300 mil, a foot in American language, the whole way back up there, take that knob off, and then get these rocks that have washed in here and put them up there so that water can flow back through. Now the dirt that'll take off, because the truck's currently out of action, I'll stockpile it over here, over there, and then you guys can see how it's done. Now it's important to take a little bit down before you put anything in. These river rocks are going to be round and they're going to have no fines in them, so they're going to want to be loose, so you don't want to do them too thick, otherwise you'll just sort of be doing burnouts trying to get up the hill. At the same time, you don't want to do it too shallow, otherwise they'll just sink straight away and disappear in the mud when we get a next lot of rain. So like I said, I'm going to try and aim for 200, well, I can't show you one hand, but 300 mil, cut the whole way up there, and then I'll just get these and lay them out. So I'll see if I can sit you in the right position and get into it. So, I've done my first cut. I don't actually know how much you guys saw there. We'll soon find out, won't we? So I cut down first, took the majority of it out, got like a rough cut, then I cut back and left it nice and smooth. I can't reach the pile over there, so I just left this bit of dirt here, which is only like a bucket full, because I want to get it with the John Deere bucket, and I want to fill a couple of holes over there in the garden. So you can see down here then, maybe I'll shine from the bottom up, you can see better. I've taken the whole lot off in a nice neat gradient, the whole way going up there, fairly constant the whole way. Taking that knob off the top, you could probably see that I cut in fairly aggressively to start with, and you can see down here we've got a drop off about 300 mil. Though it's not cut completely square there on the edge, you know, it drops down here a fair bit extra the whole way across here. So now what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll start pulling out of here and chucking it up on here. I'll leave it a rough level with the excavator, and then I'll come back with the John Deere, the leveling bar, and I'll leave it nice and neat. Okay, so I'll show you what we've done here. So I've given it a rough, basically just pulled them all out, just plopped them up here, all individually. You can see there's plenty of water in that stuff. It's not really very level at all, as you can see, but what I want to do is get them rocks up there, and now what I'll do is I'll get the John Deere, I'll put the leveling bar on it, and I'm just going to basically push from the top straight down. So I'll put more at the top, and you can see it's a bit low in them corners. That's because when I'm pushing down, I want to put it into there, because it's always easier to push down than it is to pull up. So I'll sit you aside, and I'll do that with the John Deere. Alright, I'm gonna have to get better at this because the camera stopped recording again. Anyway, we're into it. So we've done what's needed to be done, and I'm gonna give you guys a bit of an overview of how we look here. Let us know what you reckon. So we've cut this original knob off that was here. You can see that cut out. We've cut it down. We had a fair bit of packs of rock on there. And I've had to drive over it backwards and forwards a couple of times to settle it down. But it's actually a lot better than what I thought it'd be. There's a fair few fines in there to sort of settle in. No doubt this here will pack down a little bit over the next couple of days as it gets driven on. And I may have to give it a touch up, but it's 100% on what it was. Have a look at that. And there's the creek just washing out a bit of the mud that was stirred up, but it's back to pretty well its natural causeway. It's a bit dirty there. You can see back there, I don't know if you can, just there, how it's up where it all washed into. But yeah, you can see though, we dug it down. She's got finished off really nicely on the end there. And yeah, one job well done. So guys, that's all we have for you today. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. You can smash the subscribe button, but it might break your device. So if you want, you can just click on it. That's another good idea. But yeah, if you liked it, any comments, if there's anything else you want to know about this this sort of stuff, big machinery and stuff, we can go a bit more into depth in that. If you think that's something you want to see more about, let us know. But yeah, thanks for watching again, eh?